7 a.m. It's a beauty, kids. This is going to be great. So I
Yeah.
am looking forward to this show.
yeah, I am actually looking forward to this show, looking at the fact that someone has actually properly worn a tie, that too with a formal shirt
Yes,
and a jacket.
I
Wow.
know. I know. Like this is like going to be a real
And
show today. Apparently, this is like someone's
oh,
taking it. Somebody
yeah,
woke up seriously.
Gentlemen, gentlemen,
We should do
gentlemen,
this Saturday
so,
every day.
gentlemen,
I don't
gentlemen.
know what
If
do
I
you
was to
I don't
explain,
no 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 no.
if I was to explain to you the situation I was in 1 hour ago, then the fact that I'm wearing a suit and tie
Yes.
is it's quite good, Usman.
Mm. Well, I think
Really, what I read was right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get to read. I'm not in that special group, so I didn't get to read that
It was a
about
special
daily
group.
addiction.
It's
It
because you
wasn't.
don't because you don't harass me first thing in the morning. Usman was harassing me first thing in the morning, yeah, and I had
Okay.
to explain to him. I
Yeah.
explained to him that I was in a slightly compromised position, and that I could speak to him later on. Hence why I
Really?
say wearing a suit and tie right now is not is a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
tribute. It's a tribute to both of you and how much respect, love, and adoration I have for you both.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah, right.
wait. Let me
Yada,
just make
yada.
let me just make sure. Okay, the world's still here. Okay, so well, I wore my formal
Oh yes.
jacket today. Yes. Oh, and so let's go. Since we haven't technically started the show, but we will
Do you
in
want
a
to take a
second.
photo? Do you want to
Yeah.
take a
I'm
photo?
gonna take a photo. I'm just gonna do a
No,
close up. Look,
no,
that's
no.
what we should start the show.
Yeah, let's start the show.
All
Let's
right.
start the
Hey,
show.
listen, everybody on Saturday morning, thanks for being here. And because you're here, we're going to start the show.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment, with over 100,000 YouTube subscribers and rapidly growing to be the most watched and podcast cigar show broadcast globally. The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment.
Whoa, look at that. And let's just say this is live on Saturday morning. We
Uh,
don't want to mention any names why we couldn't do it yesterday, Princess. But we're here this morning, and that's the important thing. And you get us live, so you can actually ask us questions. Not that we'll read them or take them, but you can ask. And we're going to rebroadcast this literally in 2 hours. So we're going to do a
yes,
live
sir.
show and throw it rebroadcasting for the fans. So there you go.
Okay, Mr. Raza Adil has started to light up his cigar. What is he
No,
smoking?
I'm
Can
toasting
we
it
zoom in?
first.
in?
I'm
He's
toasting it.
toasting it.
I'm
Oh, really?
toasting the
Did you tell
cigar
him it was
first.
Oh,
really nice? I like the way you
I
look. I love your wrapper.
I
Oh, you're the greatest cigar ever. I like the way they made you. Is that how you're toasting it? Oh, I'm sorry. You're using a
I
lighter. I'm sorry. What do I
I
know?
am actually liking the
Right.
fact that he has started to take it seriously.
I can see. Oh, you
Well,
know why? Yeah. There we go.
listen. Can I be honest?
In
Please.
my defense,
I
now he's
know,
gonna say, in
I
my
know,
defense, in
Yeah, yeah.
my defense.
I know that in private, both of you have expressed your concerns to me about cigar smoking and how
What?
unhealthy an activity it is.
What?
But,
Jesus
let me
Christ.
say to you guys that I've always supported it wholeheartedly.
Yes, you
And
have.
hang on, let me line up.
You are a man among men, my friend. Uh, this guy. This guy.
Raza and his
I can't
shenanigans.
imagine why you'd want to give up an activity as demure and stylish as this. Um,
I'm not giving it up.
so
Oh my
so
God.
let me just say in with the audience watching, gentlemen, I encourage you to
Yes.
continue cigar smoking. It's very
Thank
good
you
for
very
you.
little.
It's an
Uh-huh.
organic object. It's an
Hmm.
organic product. It's good for you, kills the germs, and makes you look stylish and
Right.
classy.
Well, for two of us, it does. Anyway,
Thank you.
so,
Right. So, Raza, what are you
hey,
smoking?
yeah, what are you
I'm
smoking, my friend?
smoking what is called technically a Habanos, a Cuban cigar.
Yes.
I've smoked this one on the show before, but I like it. The size and ring gauge, sort of an hour long smoke, hour 15
Right.
minute smoke for me, and it lasts the show. So it's a Partagas Maduro number 2, which has got the torpedo in. I Snip
Here
that
you
off,
snip it. Sure, with a oil.
and lit it up. And I think this show, a big birdie tells me this show is about the subtle or nuanced or very rugged differences between New World cigars and Cuban cigars. People talk about Cuban cigars all the
Yeah.
time, or Habanos, as they are called much more recently.
Right.
And in the USA, I know you've always had difficulty getting Cuban cigars, primarily because of the politics. So there's this sort of mythical sort of wish list. I would like to smoke a Cuban cigar, and in the US market, you've got
Right.
lots and lots of New World cigars, no end of New World cigars.
Sure.
I believe, because I like to have a serious program, a serious discussion. I believe that Islam.
Oh, it's getting deep. Go ahead. Right here.
I've got,
My heart.
I've
you're
got, I've
touching me.
gotten something to. This is Raza. I get that next to me now. These days, this is Raza for me. Especially
My
when he does
Lord.
stuff like this. This is Raza.
Nice. I see that.
You mean a soldier, rugged
Yeah.
and determined and
Oh my
upright.
God.
That's what he was going with, not that princess look. So because you two are gonna be smoking Cubans or Habanas, if you want to get technical, and we're gonna go into what our sommelier is cooking, even though he's an ambassador for Cigar Keep. And congratulations on that, by the way. And I think Riz is one too. So yeah, both of you.
Raza is
So
one too.
congratulations.
He doesn't like to mention it. I was like, we
I
have got
wouldn't.
space. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not show it?
You know,
Yeah, because
I'm the person
there we
that
go.
turns up slightly late at the party.
We know
And
by
Please
years.
join the party now.
I'm very,
Please join the
I'm
party
very,
now.
sorry.
You said join
Please
the
join the
party
party,
now.
finally.
It's like the Communist Party. You're fine. So while he's talking about his party, so I'm doing the New World, and my favorite New World is, of course, the CAO Brazilian Amazon, which is like a 6-inch, 54 ring gauge. This is a man's cigar. This is a man's full body cigar.
It's a beautiful cigar. It's a beautiful
Now,
How
cigar.
many is a Brazilian?
How many? I asked her, and she would never tell me. Now I will say this though. Is in America where we are filming live right now. So you people that are watching the rebroadcast, it is 7:00 in the morning. So
It
my
is
25-year-old
2 o'clock.
Macallan.
Oh
Cheers,
yes.
everybody. So there you go.
Cheers.
On that note.
There you go.
Somebody's on a 2 p.m. time.
OJ.
Yeah, OJ with what? So,
Oh.
all
OJ
right.
at 2 p.m. And when it comes to the tea time, which is 5 p.m. at my side. Oh, well, it's Raza's 1 p.m. when it's after evening 5 p.m. with me. So I have tea to pair with, but most interesting today, I am going to dig into the latest
Very nice.
Wow.
of the Linear Retro series, which is the Punch Triumphos by Habanos. Habanos has gotten like 4 of these already in the previous timings, and now they've come up with Punch Triumphos. I hope I can show
Very
it
nice.
right. Yeah,
let me do a close up there.
So
very nice.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is a 42 ring gauge
Did we
by
get a close up?
129
Did we get a
millimeters.
close up of the tin just now?
We did. Yes, we did.
Oh, you want
yes. We can do it again if you'd like.
Can we do a close up of the tin?
Yeah, we did, but we'll do it again.
Sure.
Close up of the tin because Princess wasn't paying attention. There you go. There's the tin, everybody.
Very nice. This is Punch at the top.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? That says, "Hey, Punch, we need
This
some
is
cigars."
Punch Triumphos. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better.
And
I think
this
that's
is
a more
the
professional
cigar.
way of doing it. Yes. Very good.
Yes. Now, let me just say this. I went
sir.
to my doctor the other day, and my doctor told me if I want to stop chewing gum, I should take up cigar smoking. So I've said I'm ahead of this curve there. So there you go. So I throw that out there. So did I tell you about my
the only thing is with the chewing gum, I don't think give up chewing gum after or because of the cigars, because technically my chewing gum habit started after cigars, because sometimes when you've stumbled across a shitty cigar, and pardon my French in this case, the next morning when you get whatever.
Okay.
Regardless of even brushing your teeth and anything and everything at night, and even in the morning, you have that bad odor in the mouth sometimes. And that is something which can only be taken away with two things. One, if you maintain, which is have like brush your teeth twice, thrice a day, and use mouthwash, and if it still prevails, because sometimes the cigars are a couple of cigars are like really, really of the type which doesn't suit you.
Right.
It's the mint, it's the mints, it's the gums, which will
I was,
ultimately neutralize your palate and all of that.
I was going to say a girl could take that away, but that's a different story. But anyway, we're good. So today, as Riz
Depends if she wants to go there. Or yeah, I don't know.
depends if I know
Before we
her.
move on, before we
Yes.
move on, before we move on,
Mhm.
Stephen, I'm intentionally going to stop you both because of my inability to start on time last time,
Yes.
and we're
Yes.
getting late. I promise that when we start the next show, for the first couple of minutes, we will revisit the Aeromaster kit and how to pick up notes
Okay.
for the fans who might have messed it up.
Sure.
Hence, I mean, and as you know, Raza wants the show to be serious. So I thought let's keep it serious. So,
There you go.
gentlemen and ladies, this is the Cigar Aromas kit by Aeromaster, which is aeromaster.com. It consists of 12 different kind of aromas, and if I open it up for you guys and show it to you, it comes like these small little perfume bottles, if you may think of them.
Okay.
And to pair up with, I mean, they have numbers to pair up with these. You get this card, which is your cheat sheet of which bottle reminds you of what flavor profile or the aroma, as well as for different languages, they've written them down at the back of the card as well. And
Wow.
and what you do is practically just the quick notes. I mean, any kind or memories of the taste that we have are either through your mouth and your glands in the mouth or through your sensory glands. And ultimately, all this information is stored in your brain. So technically, it's your brain which tells you, oh, what are you smelling? What are you getting the profile of? And by by using this kit and actually smelling them separately again and again, you can actually train your brain with the fact that okay, this nuance means it is hazelnut or is it wood or is it hay, and that is how you can in the future uh, become more aware of what you're smoking and how does it go along with your experience in terms of the profile of the cigar.
Very nice. That was a nice little summary. Thank you very much.
I find that
Thank you
when
very
I have to
much.
go to an intellectual cigar smoke or a
Here
huff,
we go.
the other way of training myself to understand the flavors and aromas is to look the cigar up on Cigar Keep and find out what it should taste like. And then I can
Absolutely
speak
right.
very
Boy,
intelligently about it.
there's a shameless plug. So-
And I'm a shameless human being from that
Hey, Kirby,
perspective.
I know you're watching. Come on the show next time so
I
you
thought
can
I did
plug your
something
stuff.
quite nice there, but you two, I think you've got into this habit of mocking intellect.
I'm
And
sorry, mocking. When we get an intellect on this show, we'll mock them. So I will say the show that we just followed, Lost Dollar Business Club, had Guy Standing on it, which is a economics guru from the UK, and he was talking about a whole bunch of wonderful subjects for an hour and 20 minutes yesterday, which we did live. It just rebroadcasted right before this show. That's an intellect. And I asked him if he smokes cigars, and he said no. And I was like,
thank you.
I don't know how much of an intellect you are, though.
Thank
But
you.
he was a great guy to have on the show. So we
No,
got to
no,
get
no,
like
no,
intellect join us.
no, no. There's too much humility on this forum to engage in self promotion.
Mm.
But from time to time, one must call it out.
we
Yes, you do. You do. You do. You're the best. So let me just say to everybody, L'chaim and
Hang on, hang
whatever,
on, hang on, hang on, hang on.
or
Gio.
Geo, and we're
Jill.
going to start
Anaheim.
and L'chaim to all our
Yes.
to all our Polish fans. So
Chin
we're going
Chin.
to chin chin for all the Asian people, sure. And I saw one the other day, and she had two chin chins. Anyway, so Yo, this girl was fat. I'm not, you know how fat she was? She was wearing stilettos, and when she was walking, she was striking oil. That's how fat this girl was. Anyway, you'll think about
Uh,
that. All right, let's get into the show, kids. So today we're going to talk about New World versus Cuban or Habanos cigars. Um, I've had both, but I am not the sommelier. So well, I guess either Riza or our ambassador for Cigar Keep there. I guess take it away, guys, and tell the fans what we think, what we want, and we'll jump in.
right. Okay. So, Stephen, first of all, let me tell you, we had a Cigar Keep Herf 3 days ago, 2 days ago, actually.
Mhm.
It was on Sunday. And you were missed, by the way. I spoke about you and I mentioned you
Well, thank
because we
you.
were having a bit of yeah. Well, thank you. And I must say, I mean, in the next month's Herf, I would definitely want to invite you as a guest for there and
Thank you.
a
Great.
bit
What
of
did you say
conversation.
about me, though? Wait. Now my
So
ego
yeah,
has, I have to know what was said.
I know. That's where I'm coming to. Okay, so
Okay.
so
Less
this
less is more.
conversation, this
Less
conversation
is more.
this
Yeah.
this conversation popped up in that herf as well, where we had people from across the world, and there were people from the
Right.
US, the UK, Europe, and all of that, and Eastern world as well. And the
Switzerland.
conversation, I mean, yeah, Switzerland, yes. So there were a few discussions on the fact that okay, what is it that you get from your Cubans and non-Cubans and all of that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna start with, and we'll have this conversation. Let's keep it as a conversation rather than me being
Sure.
sharing my.
Right.
And that's the thing that we, and I mentioned that the easiest way for me to define is how Stephen defines it. That whenever I want to have aroma and profile and I want to enjoy my cigar that way, I actually go and pick up a Habanos or a Cuban cigar. But have thick smoke, more smoke, I don't really want to be very much bothered and cared about. And I just want to enjoy that. Okay, I'm having a cigar, I want to have a cigar, and I want to have that thing feel of it. Then I will just go for any of my non-Cubans, and in most of
Right.
those cases, it is the CEO Amazon.
There you go.
So that's where the conversation actually went, and I remembered how you easily kind of get away with just this
Yeah.
very easy definition of the differential. I think, and call me biased if you may. I
Okay, you're biased.
have
Your
been.
buzz.
Thank you. So I'm a Habanos lover, and there was a reason that whenever I was looking forward to even going for a sommelier course, my first choice went to the Society for Habanos Sommelier as compared to the ISCS or the Tobacconist University, which are based out of the US, because
Okay.
I wanted to learn more about the Habanos. Uh, yes, I do intend to go for further education with the Tobacconist University or ISES to actually learn more about the non-Cuban side as well. And
Okay.
why I say that is because I understand there are brands there as well, and a few of them I really like. But Cubans, for me, have always been something which I feel is live, something I feel is actually a man made product. And when I
Right.
say that, which means is because of its imperfection, uniqueness.
Okay.
You might call it imperfection, you might call it uniqueness, you might call it the artisan qualities in it, or the rollers commitment, or rollers hand rolled beauty, whatever you want
Right.
to call it. I'm here at lack of words for this. But every single cigar I smoke, which is a Cuban, from the same box even, I don't know if I'm gonna have the same experience or better.
Right.
It's very rare that I get slightly worse. Something I really have felt that over time, with aging, with even the newer ones, there is a feeling where I understand what I'm smoking. There is some aroma to it. There is some, well, in thinner ranges, some struggle to it. There is a very flavor profile that I know I'm going to get out of this specific brand or this specific
Right.
linea of this brand. Whereas when I talk about the non-Cubans, and I don't use the word new world, or I try to avoid this word, since I've actually seen a very interesting YouTube video by Aaron Sigmund,
Right.
on the fact that, I mean, why does he not prefer to call them New World, and prefers to call them non-Cubans, just
Right.
for the differentiation part, because there are a lot of other countries, and as a respect to that. But again, so there are a few of those brands which I really like and I appreciate. I mean, Padron being one, Tatuai's,
Hmm.
Pete John. And the fun fact is, Tatuai's and my father's cigars are primarily made in the same place, or in the same factory, or in the same
Right.
origins. Yet I do not like my father's cigars, but I love Tatuai's. So
Right.
I think Pete Johnson has done something really good in that case. CAO Brasilia, for that example. Oliva, I do not like. Nubs, I really like.
Yeah.
So
And see,
I
I'm the
think it's
opposite. I
again,
like the Oliva, not
yeah,
the nubs.
yeah. So I think there is some personal liking, non-liking, and biased involved into it as well. But primarily in non-Cubans, I sometimes feel they are either too perfect. And when I
Right.
say too perfect, I'm going to mention the brand Davidoff, because
Yes.
sometimes I fail to understand if it is hand rolled or not, because it just seems too perfect. All of those 10 cigars coming out of the box, or 20 cigars coming out of the box, how can they be absolutely same when they are hand rolled and they were not even rolled by the. So I sometimes get into that, but perfect smoke, no combustion or flow issues.
Hmm.
Excuse me. On the other hand, Fuentes, for example, Padrones, for
Right.
example, they're great cigars. I mean, I like them. I get some, not much. People talk a lot about Opus X, and I'm absolutely being biased or ignorant. And in no way I do want to denounce any of those brands,
Right.
because I've heard a lot of people talking about Opus X's and the Padron and all of those cigars, but Opus X to me was just like, okay, it's a average Cuban decent cigar. I would
If
prefer,
I, it's
yeah,
market, if
yeah,
I may, marketing. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but
yes,
it's marketing. People get Opus X and Padron because they're like, look at me, I'm smoking a $25 cigar. Like I have a friend of mine sent me, I have the Opus X black tube thing. It's a great
mm-hmm,
smoke, but I
yeah,
mean, I'm not going to buy. It's not my everyday smoke, and I will tell you, which we've already discussed on and off air. My CAO Brazilian Amazon is just as good as the Opus X, and I used to buy 1926 Padron cigars all the time by the truckloads, and they're a good smoke.
mm-hmm,
But I don't want the fact that they're pressed for that kind of money.
yes.
I want like what I get from a Cuban. I want the virgin thighs to roll my cigars. And I yes,
Stephen, you mentioned the magic word just now, money, right? I
yes.
was listening very carefully for a change to a smile just now. Okay. Now, there's, look, we could talk about cigars as cigar smokers, and some of us can talk about cigars as journalists,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And one of my other favorite industries is the car industry, right? We
Right.
all like cars, okay? We all like cars. You know, we had our favorite cars when we were kids. We grow
Yeah.
up. We're talking with cigars, it's a very subjective topic, what you like and what you
Hmm.
don't like. Okay, it's a very
Yes,
subjective
absolutely.
Right.
topic,
Right.
right? I'm perfectly happy to say I basically hate most non-Cuban cigars. I'm perfectly happy to say it. There's one or two
Right.
that jump out, right? There's one
Right.
or two that will jump out.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I have no problem saying I just don't like. I don't get it. If I'm going to spend £20 and not enjoy myself, better to
Right.
spend £30 and really enjoy myself. I think like that.
Right.
Okay.
Agreed.
There are two big. There are two big differentiators. Well, at least one. Let's start with one. The one big differentiator between New World. Sorry, let's go with Usman's preferred choice: Cuban cigars and non-Cuban
Non-Cuban.
cigars.
Right.
There's one big differentiator. Differentiator. That's money, the price point.
Yes.
The price point is always less for non-Cubans than it is for Cubans. Okay.
Not
Nah,
not not
no,
anymore.
not
Not anymore.
not
Trust
anymore.
me, Raza.
Yeah.
I
Raza,
was
it's
let
becoming
me
a joke now.
Yeah. Yeah.
let me finish because I was going to throw in an analogy about cars again.
Yeah.
Cuban cigars, in my head, conjure up what would be an old Bentley, okay, from the
Okay.
1980s, even the 90s. Beautiful car, lots of
Right.
imperfections, will always need maintenance, bespoke product, classy, it has value, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. New World cigars are the sort of, sorry, not New World cigars, non-Cuban cigars have
Non-Cubans.
also been around for a while, some more recently than the others. They're the sort of upstart little uh, these old brands, BMW and Mercedes, and these old, but imagine someone driving around a little fast BMW or a little Mercedes. These sort of upstartish brands,
Right.
right? And now, when we talk about price point, which both of you sort of almost just now were interjecting on, you are getting New World. Sorry, I'm just so used
Non-Cuban.
to it. I'm
I know.
so used to it.
Non-Cuban.
That in itself is the
It's
break
all
point,
right.
I
It's
guess.
all right, Raza. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so the non-Cuban cigars, I can mention brands like Mirafel or
Right.
Arturo Fuente are pricing themselves in a way as to compete with Cuban cigars. Let me say one thing. In some cases, perhaps the equalization of pricing is justified. In most cases, it's a pure scam, as far as I'm concerned.
I
There,
agree.
the product does not stand up in the same way. And if I can just finish this little tirade off with something that I perhaps spoke about a few episodes back, the way I see Cuban cigars versus non-Cuban cigars is like this. You can go to your average supermarket in the USA or anywhere in the world. You're sort of like a Giant or an Asda in the UK or anywhere in the world. You go to, and you can buy 6 tomatoes very nicely wrapped in plastic. They look like perfect tomatoes. They're very
Right.
well wrapped. You go home, you cut them, you put them in your burger, or you'll eat them with your salad. And yeah, they are tomato-y. There's that. And then you can go on holiday to France or Sicily, and you can go to an open air market and you will see these beautiful misshapen tomatoes that have got the sun hitting
Hmm.
them, and you'll cut that and they'll have a taste explosion inside
Right.
your mouth, right? And that to me, even now, is the kind of comparison between non-Cubans and Cubans.
Right.
There's
Right.
a, even though non-Cubans are made of organic products, there is a sort of processed feel to them. With Cubans, there's this, as Usman was saying, this bespoke,
Right. Right.
artisan, handcrafted, small, relatively small production. You're not going to, there's only a certain number of cigars you're going to get out of those valleys in
Right. Right.
Cuba. There's only that soil perhaps is slightly different to the soil elsewhere. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse, but that is a very unique, localized product that's made a big name for itself in the world. And hence, if you like it, you like it, and if you
Right.
don't like it, everything else will feel a little bit different.
Right.
So it's very subjective topic.
Mhm.
I don't shirk away from saying I like something, I don't like something. In the same way, I don't like a mint green BMW driving around on London roads. I think it's abhorrent. I can say that. It's a really
Yeah.
well engineered car.
Right.
It's a really old, but I don't like it. I'm allowed to
Yeah.
say I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's
It's
overpriced
not
and it's for
Russian.
stupid idiots.
Yeah.
I can say things
Raza,
like this.
Raza,
So
Raza, the thing is, there are a lot of things now. Uh, that
I,
we used to say right in the past, but not anymore.
now we say left.
Even about your own.
So.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
So
so
here, let me.
just to give an example, Stephen, just
Sure.
relating to one example quickly. Raza, now the price point that you've talked about. Now this is and I've purposefully picked up a limited edition from Davidoff, which is a limited
Okay.
edition for the year 2022. It was the Winston Churchill limited edition, which came in very nicely done, styled boxes. Now, at the time in 22, when it came, it costed around, if I'm not wrong, $40 or $42 a stick.
yeah,
Right?
£30.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I specifically chosen the time when the Cuban pricing has not gone up.
Yeah.
So intentionally, when the prices were still reasonable, and exactly at the same time or a little before that, I purchased this longest product
Is that
that
for the
Habanos
Doris? Oh
still.
no.
Wow.
Number one.
This is
A.
a
Monte
Monte
Cristo
Cristo
A.
number A. Number A. Monte Cristo
Right.
A.
A.
Yeah, so Monte Cristo A, which is a Grand Corona, which at that time even did not cost me around 28 or $30, right?
Right.
And this is the Sancho Panza Sanchos, which is also the same size, a discontinued cigar from 2006. And this, because it was discontinued and has become rare, I was able to get it for around $45. So this, which was at that time already 16 years old, got it for $45, where this was a fresh product and I got it for $3 difference, primarily because the packaging was amazing, the box was amazing, and to be
Right.
honest, I opened this up, I can see it. The cellophane is still white.
Yeah.
I don't see anything which tells me, oh, there is some aging happening. I can tell you, I got these sticks and from the same box because there was only one retailer who had them and not many people
Right.
knew about. So I got this stick when Raza came for the first time in 2021 or mid. And I smoked one then, and I smoked it the second time when Raza came in 2022.
Right.
I can tell you the smoke had matured and aged even in my humidor after a year like it was a charm to smoke. I loved
Right.
it. Right. And I'm waiting now to when
What's the price
Princess
point
decides to
difference?
come back again.
Right.
What's the price point difference? I know what that Sancho Panza
Three
cost in
dollars.
London today. Huh?
What that's what I'm telling. At that time it was $45.
So Stephen, that Sancho Panza in London is £300 now.
See, that's crazy to me. I mean, it's nice, but it's
See,
still
that's
crazy. I
what.
don't care how much money I have.
Well, that's Raza. That's now because one, London is a very different market. Two,
Right.
it is after the Habanos has taken pricing. Hence, I made all the comparison from the time when Habanos did not take pricing. Even
Right.
if I take the comparison from today, so this cigar, which is a tin that I've just shown, a Petit Corona. Now, this is a Petit Corona, which 5 cigars come for around $70, right?
Okay.
This is their global. So it's between 67 to 70 based on where you get them from. This is the price globally. On the comparison, the similar size is a Davidoff Grand Cru number 3 or Davidoff 2000 or 3000, one of those
Right.
Petit Coronas. Now, this cigar, now cigars in 5 actually comes out to be around $14 a stick. But on the same side, those cigars cost around $20 to $25 a stick for a Petit Corona. Now, to
Okay.
me, why would I spend? Why, if I have 45 minutes, a beautiful Cuban product, which I personally like, and again, as I said, subjective and biased, in a cheaper price also, why would I go and buy a Davidoff where I'm always concerned whether it was a man-made or a machine-made, and why is
Mhm.
it like all the way through same thing? No, nothing changed, flavors and all that.
Well, your boys in London there, the Davidoff boys, they swear by Davidoff because they have a store. But I will say between you have your Opus X, which is Fuentes, you have your Padron, very nice. You have your Davidoffs. The problem is in general, you're paying for the mystique. If I like Rocky Patel
Exactly.
cigars, like in the beginning, they were like buying a CAO Brazilian. Now, when you buy a Rocky Patel cigar, it's like this cigar is $75. I'm like, for Rocky? Are you kidding? It's the same crap as, and that's the problem. Is that people? And I told you the story of that one Rocky Patel, right? The guy goes, "I bought a box." He was all impressed, right? And I'm like, right, but how does it smoke? What's it? So that's the problem. The non-cigar smokers, and I'm sorry, you people in China, you're just learning. Because they have money, they're nouveau riche, and the nouveau riche are trying to show off. And by showing off, they're going to buy the most expensive cigar. And in their mind, that most expensive cigar is the best, and that's not always true. And that's why I always joke about my CAO Brazilian Amazon. It's like $5 to $6 a stick, and it's a great daily smoke. And I get as much pleasure as I'm going to get out of a Partagas D, right? Which is going to cost me, if you will, $15 a stick. And I'm okay with that when I buy my box from my guy. And I don't mind it. But, you know, it's sort of like they're pricing themselves to a point where people, it's not becoming realistic for people to want to do it, because it's a hobby that's, you know, worse than owning a supercar. So the cigar
Agreed.
guys are going to price themselves out of the market at some point, where it's going to be like all the wealthy Chinese people and all the wealthy this and all the billionaires are going to be the only ones, and they're going to find that you're not going to make as much money. And I think you need to realize that when you make a cigar, you're making it for, whether it's lower middle class, whatever it is, you're making it for the people, not, you know, it's your image. And I get that. And I have a real problem with that. Sometimes on the pricing, I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? And I mean, I'll buy it because I want my cigars. But sometimes I'm just like, a box of Padron 1926s is like $400 to $500. My Winston Churchill
Hmm.
After Dark is like $400 or $500. I can buy Cuban boxes for that. So, you know, sometimes when I'm buying
Exactly.
cigars, I have to call my guy and I'm like, yeah, I don't want any, I want no nine, I'm just going to buy Cubans this week. Then I just buy that because it's the same price. And it's crazy. Unless I'm buying CAO Brazilian Amazon, then, you know, I
Absolutely.
get a truckload for $400 and it's good. But, you know, but now see,
Agreed. Agreed.
I don't like pressed cigars. So whether you're Cuban or non-Cuban, don't want pressed. I want hand rolled, or what is perceived to be hand rolled. And I find with the CAO Brazilians, when you're talking about like Davidoff, and Davidoff, yes, every cigar there is perfect. The draws, everything's perfect. To me, it's some computers doing it. But with CAO, I've had bad ones. I've had good ones, you know, so I think
Uh-huh.
they're like kind of doing the Cuban thing. And
Fair
then Pete
enough.
Johnson
Fair enough.
cigars, I've met him, nice guy, and his cigars I
There,
enjoy as well.
there will be a person
Yeah.
somewhere in the world that likes the cigar that you hate,
Hmm. And vice
right?
Of
versa.
Is
course.
Right.
Of
Right.
course.
that's a
Of
no that's
course.
a I think that's a reasonable statement.
Yeah.
Somewhere there will be a group of people who
We are, we
really
are, we,
love
we,
and
we,
enjoy the cigar that
Yeah.
you are saying is, what is this cigar? It's a waste of time.
Right. Right. Right.
Then there is a group of people out there who are willing to pay more for a
Right.
cigar than you think it's worth. There's that
Yep.
group. And this, as much as it looks like a consumable product, which it is a consumable product, right?
Right.
Okay, it's a deteriorating product. Ever since this issue of collectors really
Hmm.
gained traction, I mean, there were collectors of cigars,
Right.
Cuban cigars, I'm sure 60 years ago, 100 years, they were. But this sort of this hobby, this pastime of collecting cigars, I personally believe is not as much about enthusiasm as it is about a price-driven market of
Profit.
let me buy. I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Usman just showed you two cigars. It's a bit of a no-brainer, okay? Usman showed you two cigars, the Monte Cristo A and the Davidoff, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If I had £500,000 spare, I would go and buy those types of cigars today, sit on them, and just like an appreciating asset, either sell them in 2 3 years time, 5 years time, and I may have nothing to do with cigars,
Yeah,
for
see, but to
example.
me, that I would either buy,
And that
if I'm going to take a £500,000 or $500,000 US, I'm either going to buy a piece of art because I want to enjoy it on my wall, or I'm going to go buy there's certain cars that you could buy that would appreciate,
no,
but I would drive my car every day and
no,
enjoy
but
it.
I know, and that's a certain type of audience. I agree
Right.
with you. I'm in that sort of utilitarian space where I want
Right.
something that I'm going to use, but also it may go up in price. What I'm trying to say is there is a significant momentum of a sizable number of people who are clearly distorting the
Right.
prices of cigar. I'm talking from a demand side, not from a supply
Right.
side. The supply side is also distorting. The supply side is basically stoking a fire.
Yeah.
I think the pricing
Mm-hmm.
of Cuban cigars is sort of like, if you're willing to pay this much, well, why not $5 extra? Why not
Right.
ten
Right.
dollars extra? Why not
Right.
$20? Is this perpetuating this snowball that is rolling downhill, getting larger and larger in
Yeah.
size. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you like predicting markets and where markets are going to going and what the one thing you can always say is that when it comes to Cuban cigars, there's a finite market. This valley can only produce X number of cigars every year, and God
Right.
forbid there's some sort of natural disaster or something like that. That'll wipe out quite a lot of
Everything.
things for 2 3, and then that in itself is a hedging instrument. So
Right.
let's go stock up, because there's going to be a problem at some stage, and then we've got cigars that will see through, see everyone through. So I personally think, you can see from the way that I'm talking, I'm not talking in terms of a cigar smoker or an enthusiast. I'm saying there's a very economic market driven game that's
Yeah.
being played, right?
Yes.
And when it comes to the non-Cuban cigars, the reason why the prices are going up, as Usman was talking about, the reason why the prices are going up, they just want to put themselves in the same game.
Right.
Now, if you're regularly smoking cigars, you're smoking 2 cigars a day, for example, and you're sitting
Hmm.
out in the USA, you're not going to spend $200 when you can spend $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End
And the
of.
$20 one is just as good as and sometimes better than the $200 one. We talked about it. My friend gave me the one that's wrapped in gold from David Mink or Dink Mink, whatever it was. And I was like, okay, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, it was like an average
Fine.
smoke. And I was like, what a waste.
And by contrast, 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago,
Right.
I used to smoke cigarettes. I wasn't addicted to cigarettes. But I enjoyed smoking cigarettes from time to time. And 15 years ago in the UK, sort of an average packet of cigarettes was 4
5
to
or
6
6.
pounds,
Yeah.
between
Right. Right.
four
Yeah.
and 6 pounds. And I
Yeah.
used to get
That's right.
some. I used to get some really particularly nice cigarettes. I used to get things like Sobrani Black Russians,
Right.
or
Right.
Ziganov Black Russians, or Cartier Pearl Tips, and they would cost £15 for a packet of cigarettes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
extra. Right. The cigarette culture has changed a lot. It doesn't mean that cigarette prices are £100 per packet, but those same cigarettes are now £30 or £40 for a packet.
Right.
The special
Yes.
ones.
Yes.
Why would I spend £40 to smoke
Right.
cigarettes? That's how I think, right? So hence
Right.
the cigar thing. But that market is slightly different. You wouldn't spend £40 for cigarettes when you can get them for £10, if you know what I
Correct.
mean.
Right.
It's sort of
Agreed.
it's an
Agreed.
everyday activity.
Right.
You want to minimize your everyday cost.
But
This
I have my everyday cigars that I
What?
smoke, and I have my
Yeah.
special occasion cigars that I
Yeah.
smoke. But at the end of the day, they're all. I hate to tell it, in my opinion, it's all the same, unless I'm
you're
going to
smoking the
Cubans.
band. What you're
Yeah.
doing is you're
I
smoking
was
the
gonna.
We're
band.
smoking the band, correct? I
I
agree
was
with
gonna.
that. Yeah.
I was gonna say the same, that it has started to come to the stage where I have started to kind of yes, there are some cigars which are very special to me, but for the others, I've stopped just keeping them for a because to me, I don't know when that special occasion is gonna come and how long I have to wait for it. So I've
Right. Right.
started smoking them again. And as we were talking about in just a couple of minutes ago, where you were talking about, okay, they're going to be slightly different and all that, and quality issues
Hmm.
sometimes, issues in Cubans. I mean, yesterday, yeah, I don't know if I can. Yeah, now you might be able to
Hold
in
on.
this reflection, if
There
you
we
can
go.
just.
There we go. Yeah.
So
Libertadores.
if you
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
so it is the new gold medal, and if you see, there
Oh,
is
I
there is
can't see the
this
gold. I can't see
line
the
that you
gold on
might
it.
be able to see.
Right.
Well, because somebody has taken off the gold, is that gold, and if you see here, there is
Right.
there is this line which tells you that
Hello.
The UFO got him
there is
again.
a
Hello. No.
small rope.
The
There is a
hello.
no no.
Say it again. You'll have to.
There
Usman,
is
say
a
it again.
there
That's
is a
quite interesting. What is
there is
this
a
line about?
yeah yeah. This was a rope. It was an actual rope, like a very tiny rope, or like a thread, but not thread,
To
more
take the
like
to take the
which was
foil
coming
off.
out of it. Yes. No. No. So when he cut off, he found that this
Yeah.
was it. So probably at some point when the cigar was being rolled, there was rope off which was carrying the bundle, or the thread which was carrying the bundle, which just
Oh.
got
Okay.
rolled in. Now we talk about, now this, I have never seen this kind of thing happening from the non-Cubans one. And why I
Right.
mentioned this specifically is that where we are talking about that I really love Cubans and all that. The problem coming is that if I am going to pay $40 for my cigar, it bloody well be nicely done and it bloody well not have these issues. So
Right. So
this is the
wrap it up.
downside of the Cubans. So this is the downside of the Cubans where a lot of these codes sometimes put you off.
Right.
Well, it's me because, or it's a friend who was smoking it. We are off the type. He just took it off and he still smoked the cigar because it's
Right.
the new Bolivar Gold Medal is a wonderful cigar, but not everyone would want to do it, and they would just say, "Oh, what the hell?" So
Yeah.
they would again resort, which is where I see a lot of them are losing market. Leading on to the fact where we were talking about Chinese taking a lot of them,
Right.
I have a very and since Raza used the terminology cigar debunking last time,
Hmm.
or the myths or the I don't know. I have a feel that it might be also that they're collecting and they're doing what they've done to wines and art and a few other things, but it also might be that what they're best at, reverse engineering. The Great
Maybe.
Wall China cigars, the Great Wall China cigars made their in the International Trade Fair earlier this month.
Right.
It in Dortmund, Germany, at Intertabak. This is the first time they've actually gone big with a big booth showcasing their cigars. And if you see, they have around 30 Vitolas as of now in categories or brands, whatever you want to call it. Like, so you never know. I mean, what they're doing is, I mean, as of now, they're only available in China and Hong Kong, some parts.
Right.
They never know. They're actually doing some research because a lot of these new lacquered shiny boxes for Habanos are all coming from. They're making them and all of that, and then they're like a lot of fakes coming as well. But maybe this is also coming, and that's what's gonna happen. And after a few years, when they're gonna master this art, it's gonna do what they do to all the other things, leave it, and the entire product crashes, ultimately hurting serious smokers like us. Make a difference to the collectors who were just in for the money,
Right. But
or
I
it
think
or yeah, go ahead.
no, no. I was gonna say I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think the Habano cigar, the Cuban cigar, whether it's now 20 years ago or 2,000 years into the future, as long as there's Habano cigars, there will always be the mystique of a Habano cigar. You know what I mean? Like until you
Mm-hmm.
smoke one, or until you smoke the right one, there's always going to be this sort of there's a mystique about the cigar, you know. And then when you smoke them, and I've been fortunate enough to
Fair
smoke
enough.
many around the world or even in the U.S., it's kind of like okay, they're pretty much like every other cigar, except you can taste a little more and this and that. And it's
Stephen,
sort of like
Stephen,
okay, yeah,
Stephen, you can buy a brand new Mercedes SL today, correct? A brand new
I could,
Mercedes SL.
sure,
You can also buy a Mercedes SL from the 1950s, okay? A
yes,
70-year-old
Oh
car,
damn.
hmm,
okay?
Oh,
The difference in price will scare everyone.
right,
When you get into the 50s car,
yeah,
you will time travel, you will smell the old leather.
yep,
Some things won't work properly, but it'll put a smile on your face.
right,
The
absolutely.
new SL, I'm not because I love the car analogies, so
I know,
I get carried away. The new SL is an almost perfect product.
like a Davidoff,
Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
almost why. So the 1950s Gullwing SL, let's call it a Gullwing SL because the one with the
I knew
doors
that's
that
the one
go.
you were. I knew that's the one you were talking about. So yeah.
Okay,
Oh
will
man,
cost you.
you've actually gone to the
Well,
phenomenal
well,
length,
I'm,
or
I'm,
your
I'm. The
entire.
reason why I
Uh,
talk this way is because I'm an amateur.
yes.
When the more I smoke in London around really, and it's got nothing to do with age. Sort of people with very mature tastes, people who've smoked, people who have huge technical knowledge about
Right.
cigars generally, not just Cuban cigars. The more amateurish I feel, and I don't necessarily say that in a bad way, but then I have to reach and struggle for definitions and analogies that make more sense to me.
Right.
And the reason I smoke cigars is to time travel. I smoke
I agree.
cigars to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even if they're newer cigars, actually, I'm getting a little bit of a hit of something that is evocative. It's not just the cigar; it's the activity of smoking cigars. It's where you smoke them, how you smoke them, what you wear, who you're sitting with,
Correct.
what mood you're in, what food you're having, what you're drinking with. It's that whole bundle, and you can pick pieces in and out of it, right?
Right.
When we go back to the Cuban versus the non-Cuban cigars, the Cuban cigars, for all sorts of branding issues, whether you want to talk about Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, or the history of Cuba, or the prehistory of Cuba, are ingrained. It's like everyone building a supercar, but it's always Enzo Ferrari
Right.
that people remember, and a little bit of Ferruccio Lamborghini. And so the
Right.
reason why I go back to the car analogy, because to me it's a very tight, relevant analogy that most people can relate to. Everyone, virtually everyone in the world, knows about cars or owns a car,
Right. That's true.
and so sitting in that old SL has that very old world feel,
Right. Yes.
right? And
Now, a question to the expert. The question, and I take you back to a point that where we ended last week's show, where you said, okay, and instead of doing that, I would use your car analogy. What if somebody has never sat in that SL from the 1950s or 60s and they have no freaking clue of it? For them, the only cars are the Mercedes from the 2000s or 2010 and all of these new SLs, which are almost perfect cars. They don't
Right.
even know the joy or pleasure. And I am using the words joy and pleasure because I also love classic cars and I am into those as well. For them, it's like, what are you talking about? That's like, and when they the first time, trust me, they're gonna say, "Oh, is this the seat of the car? Because I can hear the springs
Right. Right.
slightly, right? Or
then
this is like slightly less spacious, or this is the paint is chipping off from a place, even
well,
if it is
well
like one of those."
let
So
me explain
I'm
another way.
no 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 I'm bringing you to the question.
Okay.
Given this analogy specifically, so what are you saying? A lot of, sorry, but Americans, because Cubans are banned there technically, a lot of Americans never tasted the Habanos. For
Right.
them, the best cigars are Fuentes, Padrones,
Right. Right.
Davidoffs, and these
Again,
are the cigars for them. They are the Rolls Royces.
again,
What are you talking?
the
How do you?
very subjective word, the very, very subjective word best. And the
Right.
way to persuade people to look at older cigars or perhaps Cuban cigars is to use that very, well, the old SL reflects a certain period of time, a
Right.
certain period of engineering. If you want to access it or you want to know more about it, a bit like old paintings, impressionist paintings, they reflect the times.
Right.
You can time travel by smoking an old or an or a Cuban cigar. You can
Correct.
get a feeling of what people used to smoke 40, 50, 100 years ago. The non-Cuban cigars, which are more recent, they may be better. They may be
Constructed.
more consistent products. Let's say
Right.
consistent products. They may be
Yeah.
more a Tesla. A lot of people will say a Tesla is a white good, like a washing machine
Right.
or
Right.
a toaster.
Mm-hmm.
It has no soul. It's just it's four wheels, a steering wheel, and batteries, right?
Right.
Whereas a car used to have curves and
Yep.
design and function, and it would give you a feeling, and it
Yep.
would, when you went around a corner and you heard it squeaking slightly, that in itself was your connection with your environment around you. You could
Right.
now all products are designed to detach you from your environment. You should not feel the bumps in the road. You should
Right.
not feel the G-force going around the corner. And the older or the sort of Cuban cigars, for example, when Usman was talking about the imperfections, the artisan
Right.
nature, the hand, you get a better sense that someone rolled this.
Yes.
You get a better sense of
Yes.
you get a better sense of
Yes.
what these leaves have. if you focus a little bit more, if you go a bit more intellectually, you say, right, where I'm smoking this in 1 hour, but do you have any idea how long this product took to put together, and
Right.
what process it went through? I don't mean mechanized process. What steps it went through? Let's go less mechanical. With the non-Cuban cigars, you get that impression of perfection, as actually Davidoff go on and on and on about how perfect they're
Right.
going for, the perfect
Yes.
product. They
Yeah.
go on and on and on about it in their marketing. Oh, it's a perfect product.
Right.
But that in itself is market differentiation. What they're saying is you can go for your Cubans, or you can go for a perfect product which has all the
Right.
history associated with it, right? What do you want? Do you want an SL from the 1950s that squeaks a little bit but looks
So
beautiful, or
what
do you
you're
want a brand new SL?
trying to say,
I want
so
the squeak.
Reza, what I understand,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
you do,
what exactly?
because
So what
you've
you
got
so what
class,
you were trying to say,
integrity, and style.
Well, of
and
course.
so what you were trying to
And
say,
despite the fact that
what you were
privately
trying.
both of you have said that I should quit cigars, I think I should carry on going.
Okay, go on. Before that, so what I would say, you're suggesting that Cubans are better. Would I take that as a yes or
I'm
no? I'm
suggesting
putting
that
you on spot.
I think that to my palate and to my interest level, Cubans do it for me. They do it for me because my
Yeah.
father smoked Cubans. So
Yeah.
I smoke Cubans because I evoke a past that does no longer exist.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm
So
constantly
what
dipping
you're
in and out
in
of a history lesson.
So we'll say that one of our fans actually just wrote. He said, I used to
analogy
get Cubans. Yeah, I used to get Cubans in Iraq.
cigars.
And one of the contractors flew into Abu Dhabi a lot and some of them, and then he says that was choice. So I think, listen, like I said, when you have a Cuban, and I like my Cuban cigars, but they're getting to a point now where I'm just sort of like, I can buy whatever for that kind of money. And it goes back to your analogy. For me, a good cigar, whether it's Cuban or non-Cuban, is a good cigar. So I like,
Good
listen,
and
I
bad.
smoke my,
That's right.
right.
Yeah.
I like my Fuentes. I like my Perdones. I like, as we
Yeah.
know, my Cielo Amazons, my Davidos. I like it. But I will say, when I get a Cuban, it is literally like, that little box when you were a kid and you would turn the little thing and go bump, ba-dum, 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 and then the
It's
thing would
like
pop out.
you getting
That's what it is.
into it's like you getting into a 1970s Rolls-Royce Corniche,
Nice. Oh, that's a
and
car.
not a modern Rolls-Royce, but you sit
Mhm.
down and you
Yep.
think, wow.
Yeah, this is
And
a
you
car.
could drive that down the street and no one would think you're an idiot. Everyone would think there's a classy character.
Yeah.
And that's that feeling that you get. You know what I mean?
I
And that's the
just
same smile.
I like I agree. I think it's just the old school world of it. And there is a romanticism about a Cuban cigar
That's
because
right.
you can't get it. And as we talked about last week, at some point in America, I'm assuming they'll make a deal with Cuba. And to Usman's point, America will be flooded with Cuban cigars. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the world will be like, well, we can't get them. And I think
I
maybe
don't
that's
think
what
that
they're
will
all worried
happen.
about. I
I
don't
don't think
either,
that
but
will
it's
happen.
Mhm.
wishful thinking. But,
I don't
that's
think
why I
that
have
will
to
happen.
travel.
So
But
gentlemen,
yeah.
so gentlemen, for what I take is too short for cars. Life is too short to drive boring cars. Let's do something which is nice and fun, and you remember that
There you
old
go.
period of time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
Hence,
would
I
rather.
rest my case. I swear by the Habanos, and I prefer
I
them
think. I think we
at
all
least
swear by
9 days out of
Habano
10.
cigars. Yeah, I would. I'm the same. I will smoke my Habanos, but because we have difficulty getting them, and they seem to be.
Fair
My
enough.
guys always seem to be out because everybody else is getting them. When I travel to like Dubai, especially, I go to the one store where I know there's the back room, and I go in the back room and I literally load up
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
Cubans, and I'm like. And I just pray, and I claim, and I go through customs. I'm like, either you're gonna get them or they're not, and they don't, and because I claim them and they don't care, and I'm like, okay, because I guess I'm under the limit, because I smoke them all
Any
in
any
Dubai.
any
Yeah.
any new processed degrading product, whether it's like processed cheddar cheese,
Right.
or so there's a difference between processed cheddar cheese and Parmigiano Reggiano that comes in these big barrels. They're
Yeah.
stored in these caves
Yeah.
in Italy and costs sort of £10,000 for one big roll of cheese. There is a difference. There's a
Right.
difference whether you like it more or less. That's up to you, right?
Yes.
But if you want
Yeah.
a quality product, which incidentally also makes you time travel, that is really that's what makes it special. The old
Yeah.
Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
the caved Parmigiano Reggiano, the anything that has real history and manufacture
Right.
involved in it is better. I mean, I'm going to say
Yeah.
better.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree
It's
with
the
you. I
tradition.
agree with you.
I'll use your car analogy. I think all like and Ferrari. I'm thoroughly sorry, but I think all the new Ferraris are crap. And I think after they made the 458, that's the last one. Like the Enzo, the La Ferrari, all those are cars. The
And
older
there's another
Bentleys, the
trend.
old, yeah.
And I don't know if we have time. I'm
You have as
sorry.
much
I've been
time as you
talking
want.
a
It's
little
your
bit
show.
too much on this
It's your
occasion.
show. We have
No, I've been
all
talking a
time
little
left.
bit too much on this occasion, but
Yeah.
I've noticed another trend lately. I mean, this is something that's been going on for a while, but I've noticed
Right.
it more lately. I'm meeting more and more guys, because most of this
Congratulations.
industry is full of guys
Yeah.
that are saving cigars for their kids. There's I've got a
Wow.
son or I've got a daughter, and
Right.
that my
Oh
daughter was born
yes.
in
Oh yeah.
2002. So I'm going to save. So this is a trend I've seen in London quite a lot. I don't know if you've seen it in your part of the world. So
No.
I have a friend.
Oh, I have.
Um, I have a friend. I won't mention names because everyone. This is a very personal kind of activity here. I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
friend. He's got a 3-year-old son, and he said that I am actually saving a cigar from the year that he was born for every single year of his life in different
Wow.
vitola, increasing vitola sizes
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him. When he turns 18, he'll have 18 cigars, one for
Right.
each year of his life in increasing
Wow.
vitola sizes. I don't care about the brand. Those kinds of things will
Yeah.
make that kid time travel,
Yes.
right, or capture. And so
Exactly.
I'm about 150 years old, right? I have another friend who says, well, what cigars you like smoking? I say anything from the 70s or 80s, but primarily I was born in the 70s. I used to see as a kid and as a teenager, I used to see my father smoking in the 80s. So cigars that are reminiscent of that kind of era are the cigars I
Right.
want to smoke, right? But this is a
Yeah.
growing trend of saving cigars from birth years and smoking
Yes.
cigars, a bit like cars. The car that you couldn't buy when you were 19 years old, that you saw,
Right.
a Lamborghini Diablo or whatever it was, is
Right.
at the age of 40 or 50 you can afford to buy it. You don't want to you don't want the new one. You want to go back and buy the one that was 20 or 30 years old.
That's
You
right.
see what I mean? So
Yeah.
I use time traveling a lot because I really buy into time traveling, right?
Okay. Well, you and Marty McFly.
I'm from the future and I've just come
Yes.
back here.
Yes.
But
One of our guests just wrote, or one of our fans just wrote. He said, "My kids hate that I smoke cigars," and he said, "I would cry if I could smoke a cigar with my son." And that's and nothing against his son or his children, but that's also because people are like, everything's bad, everything's bad. Rodney Dangerfield had this great line. Rodney Dangerfield said, "What am I going to do? I'm going to eat healthy, not drink, not do drugs, not do this, and one day I'm going to get hit by a bus." And I laughed when I heard it. And as I've gotten older, and I go for my physicals, and my doctor's like, "You really shouldn't smoke or drink." And meanwhile, like, "How's my health?" He goes, "You're healthier than a 20-year-old that comes to our office." I go, "I'm good, doc. I'll be smoking and drinking until I die." And it's just the same mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
enough with this ridiculous. If you want to go enjoy your life, and if your life is smoking, whether it's
Yes.
Cubans, non-Cubans, whatever, go do it. That's
it's a
the whole
very
premise.
Yeah.
it's a very anti-woke activity
I
in
got your
every single
anti-woke right
way.
here, pal. So,
It's a very
Mm-hmm.
anti-woke activity. It's a
mhm.
very, very traditional, very
Old school.
evocative activity, and people won't appreciate it until later on in their lives. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And
I agree.
whether it's the taste, whether it's the aroma, whether it's the ambiance, it will stay.
Yeah.
It
No, no.
definitely would. It definitely would. the way those cars have actually stayed.
That's right.
And speaking of those cars, interesting. I would like to add something which is non-relative, but since it's tomorrow, so there is a drive on all of those old classic cars across the world by the name of Distinguished Gentleman's Drive,
That's right.
which is to yeah, so which starts in Australia and then ends in the US because that's how the
And Usman
time
runs it in
works
Pakistan.
in the world. Yes, and
Wow.
I used to host it. I used to host it in Lahore as well. I haven't been doing it for the last 2 years, but I still love the cause because it is about the mental of men as well as the prostate cancer awareness. So people who love classic cars find out on gentlemansdrive.com
Very nice.
about whatever drives that are happening around you in your country, in your city, you, and do go take part in it. And if you do not have a classic car, which is
That
up
one.
till 1980 or well, if you might not be able to get one tonight, but at
All right.
least go live and but are interested in that
Enjoy it.
history, go live
Yeah.
that history, enjoy the because it's
Yeah.
all about suiting up, looking nice,
There you
raising
go.
awareness, and enjoying having a fun day with those beautiful creations, with those curves that you don't see anymore, and the
Yeah.
colors. I mean, you go to a parking lot from that time, or you see the pictures. At least 10, 20 colors of cars out of like 100 cars with at least 10, 20 colors. Now, 100 cars
Nice.
parked, you would probably see three colors: black, white, silver. That's it.
Yeah. But here's
By
an
the
So
interesting
way,
life has
thing.
gone boring.
Here's an interesting thing, if I may, before Rizig jumps in about cigars. And one of our fans just wrote this, which is very true. Cigars are like cars, if you will. Men bond over cigars and cars, right? Because you can talk. You got not. I always call a cigar a great equalizer. So
Oh
it doesn't
yes,
matter if I'm smoking a $2 cigar or a $500 cigar. But if I'm in a
absolutely,
lounge with
absolutely.
other guys smoking cigars, it's that brotherhood of what we're all smoking is
yeah,
cigars. The same with your cars. If
I
we all have
find
a
that
classic car, it's the same
no,
thing.
you're exactly right. I find that the people smoking $2 cigars in a lounge will sort of group together in a corner over there,
Well,
and
they should.
um, it's we're sitting in the same lounge, but they sit in a bit of a huddle. And what
You
but
have a
what
two
you
dollar
said,
on this
cigar.
on
You
Stephen,
this
leave
no-
it
Stephen,
over
Stephen,
there.
Stephen,
Yeah.
Stephen, you very,
Reza, on
very.
this note, somebody is saying you look very dapper and elegant.
It's very kind. Who's
So
saying this?
continue.
Right.
That
Uh,
is Mr. Irtiz Ali Khan, or the Learned Counsel, as you call him.
Learner Council, and no, Stephen preempted something I was about to say. The cigars and cars thing. Actually, Usman's very humble about these things. When Usman was doing the distinguished drivers gathering in Lahore,
Yeah.
Right.
I firmly recall it would be around cigars as well. Everyone would have their nice cigars
Yes.
out. You would have a cigar booth. I think you had. Um, I
Yes.
think I've said this, I've used this terminology a little
We
bit
had a
too
booth.
much on this
Yes.
show, but I want you to remember it's about time traveling. It's
Right.
all about evoking a past that doesn't exist and trying to relive it out today. And that's what cigar smoking is. Even for like in the USA, it's a big biker culture, bikers and cigars, the Harley
Right.
Davidson bike. It's a very macho, machismo, even a blue collar activity. It's
Right.
a in Cuba, it's a communist activity. In the USA and around the world, it's a
even with
capitalist activity. It's
Right.
very weird. It
even
sort of
even with the
transcends.
old bikes, with the
Yeah.
That's
old
right.
bikes, even
That's
with the
right.
old bikes, like the Bobbers, the Triumphs, the Indian Chiefs, all of those bikes. I mean or the Vespas. I mean,
We
you find it.
men, we men,
I
we
mean,
men we men have to light a fire one way or another. Where so the end of our fingers or in an engine, we have to light a fire,
Yeah.
and that's what it is about. And we
that is
have to feel, we have to
the
feel the
vibe.
smoke. We have to feel the fumes. that's where we come from. You know,
Right.
do you want to
That is
boil your
exactly why a
chicken
lot
or
of
do you
us
want to
don't
put it on a
like
barbecue?
Teslas.
Sorry?
Oh,
You
I would
said
like
that's
to
why
ask.
people don't like
I was gonna say yes. I would
Teslas
like
because they're just POSs.
like
So
Teslas
Yeah.
because and even with the new Maybachs and even the new electric cars. I mean, do you know a
electric.
lot of them have started to now put in that feature where you can hear the noise of the
Yeah, the
engine
fake engine
just so
noise.
that
The
you
The
can
fake
fake
feel.
engine
engine noise.
noise.
Yeah,
Porsche.
exactly. So
Porsche did that.
exactly.
Porsche did
I
that.
was
Yeah.
like, what the hell, man? What the hell, man? I want to
Right?
drive
Because
where the
one
noise
of the
from the road.
senses because
I
at
want to
least
know that.
yeah,
Yep.
because at least one of the senses is being cut out. This is what it's a desensitized
Mm-hmm.
world, and we want to feel the sensation of the world
Yes.
again.
Yeah, we
So
do.
this is
Yes,
cigaring,
absolutely.
paring is closer to nature because there is a
Yes.
fire involved somewhere. You cook
Yep.
your chicken on a barbecue. Boiling it is fine, it's good for your
Right.
health, but you put it on a barbecue, you get the flames, you get a bit of char grilling, you get more
Oh,
flavor.
I have a question. When you say I cook it, you're talking about my chef, right? Because I don't cook it. Is it okay if he cooks it on the barbecue? Because I don't do that. I just
I was using the royal we. I was
oh,
using
the
the royal
royal.
we.
Okay, I just wanted to make
One,
sure
one,
because I
one
didn't.
cooks it. One cooks
Okay,
it. One,
gotcha. Got
one,
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
is able to
Okay.
have it cooked.
Okay,
You
so
see.
somebody cooks it on a barbecue. Got it. I just wanted to. I had to grasp that
Because
concept.
I remember going into a Michelin star restaurant in Paris, sort of like
Right.
12 years ago, and I got served a dish. It was a roasted pineapple or something for dessert, right?
Sure.
And it was sprinkled with charcoal dust, right? To
Mm,
give it a. I said, why don't you just cook it on charcoal?
Mm.
Why
yeah.
do you have to sprinkle it? Cook it on charcoal, right? Yeah. So it's today we're just doing everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of things in a fake way to capture what is old world.
Yeah.
Just
I
do
just
the
do
old
old
world
world.
thing. Just
Yeah.
do the old world.
Yes.
I've been and when I go to board meetings, I'm
You've
literally
just reminded me.
people say to me, "You're still old school. Like you're not politically correct. You're not." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care. It's like if I hurt your feelings, then get the f out. I don't have time for this. Life's too short. I
Yeah.
got shit to do,
No, no.
and that's just the big thing.
You
So
you
something about it.
you reminded me of the yeah exactly. You reminded me of the fact that a few years ago I used to work for again a global giant Unilever, and we had this sports week. Now for
Right.
the start of the sports week, we used to have like in the old times or in the Olympics, you have those torch and the events start and all that stuff. Now because of the safety reasons, it was invented for that, and Unilever being big on its safety culture, was that it used to be not a torch, but something which was a flickering light
Oh
made
my God.
that, and you go there and you just put it on there, and then again it was a flickering light, and I was like, guys, let's just stop this. Otherwise, I mean, you can start the event in some other way, and on some drum rolls or something, but at least don't
Yeah.
fake it because it doesn't feel the whole thing. So the
Yeah.
feel part, and it's about
It,
the experience, as Raza said and as Stephen you said. So yeah, I mean,
there's a
keeping things.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point where we get carried away with this. Let's do this. Like when we were kids, we rode bikes without helmets and climbed trees and broke our. It's okay
Yes.
to get hurt. It's okay to ride your bike. But now we like, well, we have to put everybody in a. It's like no, it's the same with cigar smoke. I remember I was walking in Manhattan. For you people that
Hmm.
don't know Manhattan, that's New York City.
Hmm.
On Fifth Avenue, standing on a corner. It was about 15 years ago, smoking my stick and I'm enjoying myself. And this lady looks at me with such disdain, and I wanted to say something, but as I was about to, this bus comes by, and in the old days, the black smoke just came out of the back of the bus and blew
Uh-huh.
right into her face. And I looked at her and I go, "And you're worried about this?" And I just kept walking. And my buddy just started to laugh. He goes, "That's old school, buddy." I'm like, I know. But that's the whole thing. It's just people are just too dumb. Okay, a couple things really quick. Everybody wants to know what we're smoking. So let's really quick. I smoked a CAO Brazilian Amazon, which is a non-Cuban. Rizzo, what did you smoke?
I had a Partagas Maduro #2, which I've only smoked half of. I'm smoking slower these days.
I know that's nice of you to do that. And
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Usman, what
Yeah,
did you
right.
smoke this morning?
And I smoked
A
Punch
punch.
Triunfos. Punch
Yep.
Triunfos. This is the newest release in the linear retro series by the Habanos.
Okay, and we do. And Rizzo, you have a fan. which I'm totally shocked. I'm sure you paid him to write this. He wrote, "I'm a huge fan,"
Irtiza?
and it's in the comments. And
Yeah,
his
Irtiza.
name is Muhammad. Muhammad would like your autograph, and he wants to know how and what he has to
He
do
can
to
have
make it
it. He
happen.
can. He can have my autograph now. Is he ready?
There you
There
go.
it is.
There you go.
Irtiza, learned counselor, you got. Yeah, so
So, Mohammed,
Raza,
I don't think you're getting
it
Richard's
was
autograph
Irtiza.
anytime soon. So there you go. Gentlemen, this has been, now my question is,
A pleasure.
we have all these people watching us on a Saturday morning. Are we going to do next
Mhm.
Friday live, or are we going to continue Saturday morning live with rebroadcasting? What is
We can do.
the,
We can do live.
Next
We'll
week,
do live.
what do you want to do?
we'll do live next week. We'll do live next week.
We'll do
We do
live.
live every week, but are we doing live on Friday, or are we going to do live on Saturday? That is my
We'll work it.
question.
We'll work it out. We'll let the folks know. Saturday will be better, Osman.
Raza, no,
Saturday will be better.
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday will be better.
Lock it right down Saturday,
Saturday.
and we'll keep the surprise for now.
But Saturday, we're going to do live
Yeah.
again, guys, at the same time at 7 a.m. my time. I love to get scotch and cigars at 7 a.m.
5
gets me going.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pakistan
Oh, by the way,
time,
after the
and
OJ,
1
I
p.m.
had this. I don't know if
live.
anyone likes this kind of stuff.
What the heck?
Caramel cold brew.
We
with
just
oats.
talked about
What the-
old school,
what
and
the
you bring up
heck?
this. What are you, going to San Francisco after this?
Yeah,
He's like,
shit.
hi, I'm drinking cold brew. My name's Bruce, and I love you all. Stop
I'll
it.
be honest with you, it's actually quite
Yeah.
nice. It's
I was
actually,
gonna
it's
say,
actually,
I
it's actually
Oh, go to
I-
hell, Raza.
Oh,
It's
wow. I love.
it's a weekend. It's a weekend. It's a
I've
weekend
been there.
afternoon.
It's a little hot.
Drink something.
My God.
Oh,
Gentlemen,
no, I've been there and they didn't want me.
they kicked you out.
Oh.
Mark Twain, I have property in both places just in case. Mark Twain said he's going to go to heaven. He's going to go to heaven for the weather and hell for the company. So,
If there are no cigars in
Oh,
heaven,
yeah.
I won't
Oh,
go
yeah.
there.
let go. Mark Twain. Yeah. Very cool. Well, all our fans that watch this live Saturday morning, we will be back apparently next Saturday morning live with a rebroadcast later in the day. If you missed anything,
And
yeah,
can I give you a good mental health message? If
Oh,
you're
this is gonna
going
be
through
good.
hell,
Oh my God.
keep going.
Oh my
Keep
God.
going.
Yes, keep going. That's right. Kick in the door. Just keep kicking in the door and keep going. So
Keep
it's
going.
awesome.
Mhm.
And thank everybody for their comments today. That was awesome. That was great. It's the fans love you guys. Look at that. Who knew? So no, really,
I
who
knew.
knew?
Raza, this
I
is a
knew,
new.
I knew.
Nobody
Raza,
did.
this is a new.
So,
Raza, this is a new one.
Go on. What's this?
I said this is a new.
This is new that
Fans
the
love you.
fans love you. So yeah, the fans love
Well,
you.
primarily because I take cigar smoking quite seriously.
Here it comes. Oh God.
Yeah. Somebody says, you guys have inspired me to get some donuts. I smoke a 99-cent Swisher Sweets banana smash. I
Yeah,
am
that's a
not a
cigar
cigar
from
snob, lol.
Switzerland.
Yeah, live is always the best. It gets it.
There
Okay,
you
so
go.
we've got approval for the live show.
We got love. People love us live, and he's gonna go buy donuts. And now I'm jealous, but I'm not gonna have donuts. I'm gonna make. Here's what I'm doing after the show because it's so early. I got up this morning at 5, did the run with the dog, and then I had like a little nosh because there's cigars and scotch.
Mhm.
And after the show, I'm making myself a beautiful pastrami sandwich with
Oh,
hot
wow.
deli mustard on Jewish rye.
Are you going to have that with cheese?
But the only question is,
No,
Are you going to make a Reuben?
but
the chef's gonna make me.
You know, yesterday, Stephen, can I tell you
I was,
something? Can I tell you
yeah,
something?
I'm not
Very,
gonna
very
make it. The
interesting.
chef's gonna make
Very
it.
interesting topic. Very interesting topic. Yesterday
Yeah.
in Selfridges, I stopped to have a sort of early supper kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Right.
I went to it's a delicatessen. I've always thought it's a Jewish delicatessen.
look at
It's
you,
called
look
the
at
Brass
you,
Rail.
look at you.
No,
all
hang on. It's
posh.
called the Brass Rail, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And I used to love my salt beef sandwiches there. I used to just absolutely love them. It's kind of a little bit gone downhill, right? Now, I was looking at the menu and I was saying, Reuben or salt beef? Reuben or salt beef? Reuben or salt beef?
Yeah.
Tell me, a Reuben is not kosher.
No, technically it is not kosher, but it's
Right.
okay.
So
The
how
Jewish
did
deli.
they do it?
Because it's not, the Jewish deli isn't for the Hasidim. They're not for the real Jews. It's for fake Jews. They're fake
The
Jews like
Sephardics.
me. The fake Jews like me go there. That's where we go, to a Jewish
I've
deli.
never understood it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and very proudly, it's
It's
a Reuben, yeah.
right, but
You've got
it's still
cheese, you've got
yeah,
sauerkraut,
yeah, yeah.
you've got
Fake Jew.
pastrami.
When I eat a Reuben, it's a fake Jew. What my favorite sandwich is, and if we have it, that's what's. I know we have the pastrami. I don't know if we have the corned beef, but pastrami corned beef on Jewish rye with hot deli mustard.
And that's what
That's
I had. And that's what I had. And I
yeah.
had tongue as well.
I hate tongue because I always picture a
Oh.
poor cow doing this.
But
So I can't do the tongue.
it's delicious. It's delicious.
My grandmother used to make me tongue, and she'd be, "Do you like it?" And I would literally be, "Where's the mustard?" And I would take like one of those big jars of mustard and use the whole jar to get
Oh,
through the tongue. Tongue was never my thing. It's just too tonguish for me. So
Deli mustard, not English mustard. English mustard will just blow your brains out.
you got to have
oh
deli
yes.
mustard. A good hot like New York deli mustard.
New York.
New York. I'm a New
Actually,
Yorker. Yeah.
actually, the bucket list for me is Katz's. But apparently there are ones
Oh.
better. But that's a bucket list place.
Let me tell you, we'll go there, and let me tell you, Katz's, when you go to the front line, if you don't know what you want, you won't get ordered for 20 minutes, and you get a half a
Well, it's lucky
sandwich.
I'll be going with you then.
There you go. Because a full sandwich is like for 17 people.
I know.
I went with a
And
friend
it
of
is
mine
literally
once.
that tall. It's that
Yeah.
big.
Oh, and they charge like $90. It's still, but it's great.
And they
It's
let
like,
you smoke a nice Cuban cigar inside whilst you're eating a sandwich.
sure, let's go with that. I'm going to be running to Katz's now in New York going, "Hey, I heard on the show you let us smoke cigars." And Katz would be like, "Who are the idiots that told you that?"
These ones.
Yeah, these ones. And they would stick in a whole bunch of New York terms for that before they got to the word idiot. So, but yeah, so it's very cool. Well, it seems that we have tons of fans watching us, but unfortunately, guys, we've been doing this for an hour and a half, and we could stay if
Yes,
you
sir.
want, but we're probably going to have to leave. Next week
I
is our
guess we
topic.
should try to wrap it up. Yeah.
At some point,
Topic.
is our topic a surprise for next week, or and the fans will just have to find out?
Let's go with the flow. Let's go with the flow. But why don't we go, if we're getting fans on, why don't we get fans letting us know what their favorite cigars are, and we can comment about that.
There you go for next week. And
Very
if not,
good.
we'll comment on our favorite cigars.
Why don't you
Yes, sir.
come on? Why don't you guys come back on? Let the fans
When
write what they're enjoying, and let
Right.
our resident sommelier talk about that cigar, and we'll give you our opinions.
Sure.
Interact with us a little bit. Let's have an interactive
Well,
session.
they
next time.
actually did. It's under the comment section, which I know you're not
Yes.
reading, and Elizabeth and I are
Yes.
reading the comments.
And
So-
by the way, I don't like electric golf carts either. I don't like golf. Full
Yeah.
stop.
Oh, look at you! You read. I'm very proud
Oh,
of you.
someone's ready.
Oh,
No,
Someone's
no,
ready.
no. That's the ether.
Wow,
That's
wow.
through
Yeah.
the ether.
Wow.
That's through the ether.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
through the
I will
ether.
tell you. I remember when golf carts were the gas-powered golf carts when I first started to play golf 100 years ago, and it'd be like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop," and I loved it. And then the electric one was sort of like, "What the heck is this?"
I remember
So,
when you would have a caddy who doubled as
Yes.
your bodyguard and would walk
Oh,
around with
yes.
the hat and just
Yep.
throw
In
it
Pakistan,
and
well,
knock
in
out
Pakistan, we
your.
still have that. In Pakistan,
Well,
that's still
Well, in
that's
repressive
still the
regimes,
case.
you still have it, but in
Oh my
in
God.
the modern world, you have electricity has replaced the caddy.
Listen, no. The golf carts are still a luxury, and the electric golf carts are extremely new. We still have those golf carts, by the way, where you have to put fuel in, and they'll be
Good.
like, bum, 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 bum.
You know what would be
Yeah,
the ideal
exactly.
golf cart?
Or
You know what would be the ideal golf cart?
a
A
25-year-old Asian.
1950s
Oh, sorry.
SL Gullwing Mercedes.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. You know, there's a company.
With the boot open and the golf club
I-
sitting in the back, and it just follows you around the course.
You know, there's a company here in America that will make you for your golf cart. They will custom make you
No,
whatever
that's
you
nice.
want. You'll see
No,
people
no,
with
Raza,
Hummers, Mercedes,
this
Rolls
cart.
Royce, everything.
Raza, this is a golf.
Cinquecento.
Raza, this is the best golf cart. Cinquecento.
Cinquecento.
Yes, exactly. And that too. Yes, sir. See,
That's
where's your
funny.
golf cart
There you
here?
go.
Come out of here.
We'll go play golf.
I mean, I generally speaking, I object to this game golf, but it
Oh my
works if you
God.
can smoke. No, if it works if you can smoke, a round of
Cigars.
cigars.
Around the
as you're walking
cigars.
around.
You
Of
can-
I don't
oh,
give
yes,
two
of
hoots about
course.
winning or losing.
course you smoke cigars. That's why you play golf. What else do you play
The
golf
reason
for?
you, I mean, who does not smoke cigars on golf course? I mean, the ones who don't, I
Yeah.
really don't like to play with them.
I
I
have a
can't play with
friend.
those people.
because
I have
Yeah.
a
it's of
friend
no
who
fun.
2 days ago, I have a friend who avid golfer, goes around the world, plays golf everywhere,
Right.
and he is an avid smoker of cigars. The one activity he does not engage in is smoking cigars on the golf course.
Oh.
It detracts from his concentration.
Oh, stop it, Sculf.
He says, if I want to
Please.
smoke a cigar, I'm going to sit down in a really nice place and smoke a great
Oh
cigar.
my God! Stop,
Oh
God!
my God, please. This
And
guy's not
he's watching the show right now as we talk.
really. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, throw a pair, smoke a cigar while you play golf. Jesus.
Okay.
Wait till you play with us. So I play
Has this man died on the chair? Look at that. He was just like this.
when I play golf, I play I play Rodney Dangerfield golf from Caddyshack. So playing golf with me is like playing with that character when I play golf. So there you go, gentlemen. Love you both. Oh, we have a comment. Let's get our last comment in before we leave. This gentleman said, "Agree." Serious golfers don't smoke on the course. What does this guy know? Yes, serious golfers don't.
I think he knows something that we
I need to
don't
know.
know.
He's a serious golfer. Yes,
Raza,
I know.
Raza, I need to know. I need to know. Well, I need to know his. I know
Someone's blocking him out.
You-
Someone
Yeah,
because
that's UFO.
he needs to know
Some
something,
black-
and he's not able to ask the question. Look at it; he's blocked. It was like
Oh, yeah, you wanna try-
jamming the sort of like the
The
some
golfers are
Raheel.
jamming
intelligence
them.
agencies blocking him out.
Yep.
I've actually read the
We
comment.
can't. Why can't we hear him now?
Smoke a
Why
cigar
can't we hear
on.
Usman?
Who can't?
He's just.
I can hear you.
Can't hear anything he's
completely.
saying.
There's no UFO. Okay, shut up.
So
Thank
yes,
you very
we can
much.
hear. Yes,
Thank you very much
your
for
Riz
the. Thank you very much for
Riz
this.
is-
I know.
It's
I
that
exactly
confusion
figured what he
for a
was doing.
second.
yes. Riz's
What the
friend.
hell?
Riz's friend said that
The
serious
transmission's
golfers
been
don't
like
smoke
screwed around
cigars.
with,
So
tampered around with, huh?
No.
Riz's
So
friend said serious golfers don't smoke cigars, which is probably very true. But I'm not
I
a
know
serious golfer.
I know the gentleman.
There's a
I've
blocking.
read the
There's
Yeah,
a
comment.
blocking.
that's
I
funny.
swear there's a
For a
blocking
change
going
this
on.
time. Shut up.
Yeah, we can't.
Oh.
We absolutely
Raheel,
can't hear you. It just cuts in, cuts out, cuts
We
in,
should
cuts
end the
out.
show.
I have to, it's you trying to block me out whenever I have to say something. I think so. So Raheel, you should.
My hands are clear.
Yeah, right. So Raheel, you should smoke a cigar. You should smoke a cigar on the golf course next time, and then you would actually feel the difference. Because I feel you get a lot of concentration through that.
I agree.
So I know the gentleman. If he's the same Raheel, I think he should. He should. And I
First of
know
all-
of a lot of single digit handicap people on the
Right.
golf course who actually prefer and love
Which
smoking
digit
their
in
cigars
particular?
like that in the
I
morning.
was
and
when
going-
he said handicapped people, I
we're
was
talking-
thinking something totally different. But anyway, mostly on our show.
We're
But,
talking of golf. We're this evening.
yes, I got that. Yes. I'm not a single handicap. I'm a double handicap. So I smoke cigars, drink scotch, and I'm just there for the enjoyment, to have a good time. That's what I play golf for. Nothing
I
more.
When
I don't go.
I would imagine if you were smoking out on a golf course,
Yeah.
your game would suffer. Birdies would turn into bogeys.
Why?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. When
Um,
but it is true. If I don't smoke a cigar, I do play a better game. But there's just something about I'm out here. I want to have a good time. So I'm okay with that. I don't
Exactly.
take golf. It's not life or death. It's golf.
I think Usman probably would have said to, is it Raheel, that he should, instead of smoking
Yes.
non-Cuban cigars, try Cuban cigars on the golf course.
On the golf course, you'll play
Exactly.
better.
On the golf
It's a
course.
known fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion? May I make a
Yes,
suggestion?
please.
Smoke the Monte Cristo
Please do.
Open Eagle.
Mm.
Oh,
That's a
now
very
you're
good
talking
golf
golf
cigar.
course.
I would have thought that our resident cigar sommelier would have said that, but I was waiting and
Yeah.
waiting
Oh,
and waiting. A
know.
cigar designed for the golf course, the Monte Cristo Open Eagle.
So remember,
I
Rizzo,
was-
there's sommeliers.
Open
and,
Eagle.
there's
Well,
sommeliers.
the entire
And there's
yeah,
sommeliers.
technically the entire Open series Well, you say about
Yeah, well, I
original.
already said it. Now it's
Unfortunately,
pointless elaborating on it.
yeah,
I did say it.
mm,
So yeah, we can expand on it
yes,
a little
sir.
bit. Whether it's the
My my
junior,
my,
the
my
master, but I
sincere
went for the big
apologies.
one, the eagle.
Anyway, gentlemen, to
Usman
Yes,
knows I
sir.
love him, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
can get
there you
away
go.
with this. Yeah.
That's right. We all love each. That's why we do the show. That's why I told my whole team knows that when we do the show, the world can be imploding. Godzilla can be eating San Francisco. I could care. Don't bother me until we're done. This is my favorite part of the week.
It is
This show
it is very
because of the
it
company.
is evident from the it is evident from the fact that you were ready to go live at 7 in the morning because of the princess calling it off.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Well, we're
you
gonna
waking
yeah,
up 5 o'clock in the morning for that.
and we're gonna be doing it
So yeah,
next week, which I'm very excited about. Are you kidding?
I
I'm looking
suspect, I
forward to it.
suspect, I
absolutely.
suspect this show. I suspect this. I'm so sorry. I spoke for quite a lot of this show, which I tend not
It's
to
all
do.
right for
It's okay. You're
for
allowed. It's your
But
show.
you
but
about
I
it
I
today.
felt I needed to add some decorum for a change
Oh my
to
God,
the
here it
show.
goes. Oh,
No, for no, on
Oh.
my part, I'm not on my part because I've
yeah.
been a little bit sort of, and so I wanted to raise the game a little bit.
Okay.
I apologize to the audience if I've been uh, a little bit too critical of their shitty New World cigars. Um, but I wouldn't pay more than $5 for any New World cigar. They're
CAO
all shit.
Brazilian Amazon, then baby, all
They're
day long.
all shit.
Yes,
They're
sir.
all shit cigars. Stop
There we go.
smoking them. You may as well stick them up your nostrils.
Wow.
Oh
It's
So
shit.
hey,
subjective. I'm allowed to
Oh.
say subjective
I
things.
know.
It's
Hey,
subjective.
you shouldn't hold back. Tell us how you really feel. That's I think important.
I feel that cigar smoking is an activity that should take place only around Cuban cigars,
All
Cuban
right.
leaves.
Okay.
Everything else is a copy. Everything else
Okay.
is a catch up. Everything else is marketing and branding.
Right. Right.
I've had some really extraordinarily priced cigars that are not Cuban cigars, and that shouldn't I should not have paid more than literally $5 or $10 for.
Are
And
Fuentes,
you referring?
Padrones.
Are
uh,
you
uh,
referring to your favorite Mirapels?
yeah, it's a piece of shit. Absolute piece of
Oh my
shit.
God.
Total scam. Total scam. No, honestly, it's a total scam. I have no problem saying it because the thing is, it's my opinion, and someone else may say, "Reza, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. They're amazing. Go ahead, buy
Hey, Rizzo.
more $100
What
Mirafels.
one of the fans just
Go
asked,
ahead, go
what's your
carry on
opinion?
buying more cigars."
What's your opinion on the House of Padron? Their cigars. What's your opinion? You
I
do.
had one relatively recently, maybe four-ish months ago.
Okay.
A very nice person offered that to me. He says
Right.
I don't really smoke non-Cubans, but I do like Padron. I like the history of Padron.
Right.
Please try one of these.
Yes.
Usman might remember what I smoked. It was I think I
1964.
put it on my Instagram. For
Was
me,
it a
Yeah.
1926? Okay.
the fact that this
64.
friend gave me a
A
Padron to
64.
smoke,
Okay.
yeah, is the fact that he gave it to me to smoke is what I remember. The
Okay.
cigar is forgettable.
Yeah, just the person who gave it to you.
The person who gave it to
Yeah.
me and I smoked it is what I remember.
Yeah.
The cigar in itself is forgettable. It was
I'm not a fan of the
Since
Padron. I like
since
them, but I'm not a fan because they're pressed. And I think pressed to me, for some reason, it's not a cigar.
there are two
since
non-Cuban
we're since it's
cigars.
subjective, Raza.
Yeah.
Since it's subjective and we're on Padrones, I think out of a lot of non-Cubans, Padrones is one cigar I feel has some history to it, and to me that is why I would, if I don't have a choice of Habanos, and out of the non-Cubans, if a lot of them are there and a Padron is there, I would surely go for a Padron even over David
Right.
Fuente. I
Yeah.
I would prefer that.
There are two cigar sort of non-Cuban cigar brands that I've smoked that do stay a little bit in my data banks. One, Usman knows inside out. Usman can second guess it almost exactly. There's a
Hello,
brand that I smoke quite a
Camacho.
lot. It's Camacho, which is a
Really?
Davidoff. Yeah, and specifically the Camacho, Connecticut.
Steven,
Okay.
He likes getting a hit in the face. That's why. That's the only
Gotcha.
reason.
Gotcha. All right.
So Camacho's one, and there's one that neither of you have smoked, which I smoked in Dominican Republic. I smoked it with the owner of the cigar company. I smoked it in their lounge. I smoked it virtually most days when I was in the Dominican Republic, and that is a brand called Saga,
Saga. I have
Saga.
smoked it. Yes, sir.
Oh, you have smoked it.
I've smoked the Saga. It's
Do you
Okay.
like it?
again. Well, okay. So it was not bad, but I wouldn't say it was a cigar I would want to go and source for myself. It is available in Pakistan very easily. The Saga brand is there. Nirka Reyes,
That's right. The
who
They're
Reyes
available
family.
in
Yes.
so
Dubai
that
too, all
yes,
over the place.
yes, they are. I mean, I like the
I mean, there's a
boxes they make.
characteristic to them.
I
They're smooth,
yeah, the
smooth,
boxes.
creamy. They're smooth, creamy
Yes,
cigars for
Yeah.
me. So that
I actually like
characteristic
them only
lends
for the
itself to.
presentation. I
Sorry.
only liked it for the I only liked it for the presentation of them. Those very nice book-shaped boxes,
Right.
Yeah.
historical books, so you can actually shelve them in a bookshop
Yeah.
or on a book
Right.
rack as well if you want to. So they look pretty, and that is what I only remember. But again, the cigar is forgettable for me.
Yeah. I had one in
Um,
Dubai because
again,
it was
it's
at
time.
the I
Again,
was at this
Usman,
lounge.
it's time and place. It's where you smoke them, how
Yeah.
you smoke them. I
Who
Agreed,
had the
you smoke
agreed,
them?
agreed.
I had the Andalusian bull by La Flor Dominicana again with the owner sitting at a table. That in that moment, that cigar was absolutely outstanding.
Right.
In
Right.
that
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
in that moment,
Yes.
ask me what it was like. I can't remember what it was like,
Yeah.
but in that moment, it was outstanding. But the
Yeah.
Saga one,
I
as a
smoked one
flavor memory,
recently.
stays. Sorry.
Okay.
I I I I smoked one very recently, the Andalusian Bull. Again, I remember the friend who gave me. I remember what he recommended and what he said. I couldn't find any of those things in that cigar. So yeah,
Yeah.
very ordinary cigar for me as compared to a few other La Flordicanos in particular the
It was
chisels
the
they have. I would still remember those, not the Andalusian Bull.
Mm. Interesting. Very
There's
nice.
one with a moon on it, right? What's it called? The media. That's also
Yes,
called a
sir.
media luna, isn't it?
I think so. I'm
Sort
not
of like
sure.
a dark blue band with a moon on it. La Florida
No, the one
Dominicana.
I smoked, the one I smoked, the Andalusian Bull was a greenish kind of,
Green. That's a green
like
double figurado kind of double
the
figurado kind of
yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
It
I
was a
remember
very,
Shay.
very, very interesting. I
Yeah.
don't even remember if it was. I don't think it was double figurado because it is pointed at
Well, it's
the head of
tapered. It's
it.
tapered at both ends. One's
It is
narrower,
slightly,
one's wider.
yes. That's right. That's right.
It's one narrower, one wider, but slightly tapered on both sides. So
Tapered.
you could
Yes,
sort of
agreed.
double figurado.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
finally in that sort of there's a trio. There's another one. I smoked this because I was encouraged to smoke it. I tried it. I thought one of the cigars wasn't bad. That was the Emperor Yao. That
Oh,
was
I
the
love
El
that one. I
Septimo.
had that. That was
The El
delicious.
Septimo.
You
And
told me onto that.
I encouraged Stephen to have a go at
Yep.
that because it held very nicely in the hand. Beautiful band.
Yep.
Beautiful band
What
on it.
cigar
And
is
it had a
that?
footer
What
band.
cigar is that?
El Septimo.
Oh, I have a couple of those gifted to me. I
Yeah.
am yet to actually smoke them. A couple of friends who smoked them had a very different point of view, and maybe because of that, I am yet not able to light them up. But now the two of you have said some things,
Oh, they're
I
very
think I
good.
might give it.
I bought a
I might give
box.
them a
I
Well,
go.
liked it that much.
as a product for
Ah,
someone who doesn't smoke Cuban cigar, as a product, it's a good looking product.
Right.
The box, the cigar, it's a good
Yep.
looking
yes,
product. It's sort of a conversation piece. If you're smoking that in an American, in a US cigar lounge, and you're
Yep.
smoking that, there will be someone looking at you saying, "What is it you're smoking?" Because it's got such
Yeah.
a beautiful band on it, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Um,
yes,
when it comes to aroma and things like that, forgettable, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's an
Very, very
experience in
much.
itself.
yeah. Oh, and the gentleman I was referring to who has given a bad feedback has written it. The Andalusian
He's-
Bull. Okay, the El
He
Septimos.
says
El
he said the
Septimos are
cigars
shit.
are shit. You know it.
Shit, and you know it. Andalusian Bull, because he was the one who gave me the Andalusian Bull. He
Right,
says
right.
Andalusian Bull was made from a special vintage mold found in Belgium. I don't give a shit. I did not really like it. And it
Why
was a
wasn't it
forgettable
made from a
cigar.
special
So
special?
Amar,
Why wasn't it made from a special vintage mold found in Andalusia? That's the question.
Yeah.
Amar, there's a question for you. So this was Amar who said it. So we posed the question to him.
We'll see if he types. We'll see if he
I'll
types before we end, or he'll come on next week and
yeah.
talk to us. So, but
Hmm.
this was a great show. I like the Saturday morning show
Absolutely.
live. I think this
It was
is great.
okay.
We should every Saturday.
It's all
Can you
right.
do every Saturday? I mean, I know you're
It's
busy with
okay. It was an
nothing.
okay
No,
show.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
Stephen, no. We're not gonna give him Saturday or Sunday because we know he's not gonna make it. Even on
Oh,
the Fridays,
you can't
I've
make it.
started to feel that it is becoming a bit of a, yeah, he can make it because he's kind of busy.
Yeah,
So for next week
Saturday,
on
Saturday
Saturday, but
morning.
after that, let's keep it on the Fridays. Yeah, but after that,
Okay,
keep it
so
on the
you're
You
you're
Fridays
could do
as
you're.
the
we do
show
it.
without me.
No, we can't. You know that. You cried
No.
yesterday. We
Oh,
said we'll do the show without you. And you're like, no, I don't. I want to be part of it. We're like, all right, fine. Anyway, your guy wrote
and
a
and
response
and,
to
and
your
also
thing.
the fact, yes, and also the fact that Raza, I mean, if you're not going to be there, who's going to be the Joker of the show?
Hey, who are we gonna pick on? Can't
So
pick
Well,
with
on each
that,
other.
with yeah,
I
with,
try.
with that,
I
with
made
that,
I
with that, Amar says the name is an ode to Lito Gomez's Spanish heritage.
Nice, very nice. Look at that. Look what we
Raza, we'll
learn
have
on our
that. We'll
show.
have that Raza, we'll have that conversation with him when we see him.
when we
I
see
don't
him. I have an idea.
give
Why
a
doesn't Amar
shit
come
about
onto the
who is
show?
this paying
Amar,
homage
Amar,
to
you
him.
get
want
on the
next
show.
week?
Amar, get on the show. Replace
Next
Let's
week?
me
do
for
that.
a week.
No, stop it. You're gonna be on the show. It's your
No,
show.
no,
You
no.
have
You're
to
gonna
be on the
We'll
enjoy.
send
show.
You're
him.
gonna enjoy. You know what? You know what? You're gonna enjoy Amar because Amar will smoke through anything. I think,
Yeah,
anything
but we.
Cuban.
Amar.
But you have.
Yes,
It's your
sir.
show. We'll be
And
here.
and
You'll be here
especially
next week.
especially the blacker the blacker the cigar is, Amar's gonna
Yeah,
like it more.
I
When
knew
I
a girl
say
in
blacker,
university like
I
that.
want to
I think
say
that's different.
much.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm referring to the strength side of it because
Okay.
Steven, you would like him because he likes the same cigar like you, which is the Liga
Okay.
Privada 9 and the Liga Privada T52. I
Ah,
seriously
beauty.
can't stand both of them. Amar's
Right, right.
Amar's the one who's would love to,
I
but I'm
agree.
traveling all of next month.
He just doesn't. You know what it is? He doesn't want to show up, Rizza. That's a good friend, right there. That's a good friend. Doesn't want to show up, the host of the show, and he's
Uh,
using the excuse that he's traveling. That's really nice. So you're going to be back next week for your show. Just saying.
yes, sir.
On Saturday, we're going to do it again. Saturday. So the fans are
Yes,
going to be
sir.
expecting you on
Saturday,
Saturday.
You just have a picture of a
7 o'clock
Joker up
your
there.
time, 1 p.m. London time, and 5 p.m. Pakistan time.
There you go.
Do you
And
like the
then
fact that I put a tie on for you guys
I do.
today?
Can I tell you? When I got on today, I was very impressed, and I was like, next week. I mean, I'll
Oh
either be wearing
yes.
this for my tuxedo, and I have pocket squares now with my
Oh.
tuxedo. So I will even. I'm not gonna put a bow tie on, but I'll dress up as we always do. Like we said last week. There's something about dressing up, having a cigar with your mates,
Yep.
and enjoying it. Like the time flies like this when I'm with you guys, and I love it. So yeah, it's the
Absolutely.
best thing.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
Absolutely.
It's the best mini holiday I have all week.
You basically saw the sunrise during this show because when we
Yes,
logged
you all
on,
saw the sunrise.
Yes.
Dark.
Yeah, we all
It
saw
was
it.
it
We
dark.
all
Yeah,
saw
you
it.
all saw it. Yeah, it was dark behind me. I
Here
had to have the
comes
light.
the
I had to have
sun. Do,
here.
do,
I
do,
had the
do.
light on, and yeah, now it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's sunny outside, and the neighbors are trying to figure out why I sit outside in a tuxedo or
So this is
my.
what people do when they smoke a cigar in a hearth. This is what they do.
This
This
basically this
is
is
what
what
they
Yes,
people
do.
sir.
do.
They shoot the
Yeah,
breeze. And they talk
there you
about
go.
culture and cars and art and
Yeah,
the economics of of cigars and
yeah,
why the prices are rising and how it's
yeah,
connected to everything else and
yeah,
ties and
Yes.
suits and
yeah.
jackets and Bond villains and etc. The things that
Hence,
most people don't talk about anymore.
correct. Hence our Habanos Cigar and Drink Show. That's why it's here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For the
Can
fans and
I
the cigar aficionados and the
can I
cigar
can I
101
Yes.
people,
can I say something
Yeah.
in closing,
please.
Yes,
Mr.
please.
President? Thank you for
Oh,
watching.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Oh.
Hey, Donnie, Donnie. We may
Mr.
not love
Trump,
you.
I
I
love
want you to come.
Cuban cigars. You got to come smoke Cuban cigars, or just
Yeah,
marinate in the atmosphere.
Donnie, come on the show so Rizza can have wet dreams and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll just sit here and
No, just a
pay
cool
attention.
customer. Cool customer. He just says that to the world, basically, right? Yeah. And that's
It
just
says something to
you
the
know,
world.
all the faults to one side. That to the world is class act.
All right, hold
Class
on.
act.
I would love to join you in the car focused discussion whenever
Cars.
you have it. Next week, we'll talk about cigars and cars.
We just did. We
Cars.
just
Yes,
did.
Well, I
sir.
We
know, but
just did
you
talk
know,
about car focus
some
discussion.
of your fans, yeah, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. I don't know what to tell you, but we could do a whole show
Are
on
you
cigars and
slag? Are
cars.
you slagging off the fans now? You got to that
I love
stage,
the fans.
slagging me off
Listen,
now, slagging the fans off. Good luck
I'm the
seeing them again.
yeah. Listen, I'm the Jew from New York. They don't
My
expect me to
God, the things
embrace.
that you say off camera, now you're saying them on camera.
Yeah, why not? I love our fan. I love our fan, and whenever
Belligerency.
I love our fans. They're the best. And can I tell you, we get a lot of comments on the shows, tons of comments on the shorts we put out, and we even get emails from them. So we may bust their chops live, but we love our fans, and without them, we wouldn't have a show. So
Well,
we
no,
want to
but that's
thank them.
just it. The next
Absolutely.
section, the next session is meant to be slightly more interactive. Send us
Yeah,
what you think is your perfect cigar or your waste of time cigar as well. And it
yeah.
might even be a Cuban that you think I have one waste of time Cuban cigar that I've always said, but maybe I smoked it in the wrong place at
Which
the wrong
is.
time in the wrong way.
Which
No,
is.
I
Which.
won't go
it's
Oh,
on
shut
and on
up!
about it
You,
because
don't you dare talk about the private stock 230.
I didn't. You did.
you did. Way to go.
See, I knew what you were going to do now.
Even though it has my initials on it, even
it's a,
though it has my
it's a
Oh my
initials on
wonderful
God.
it, yeah,
cigar.
I did not enjoy it.
All right. There you go. There you
Yeah,
have it. And that's how we're going to leave the show. Everybody, thank you
it's
so
a
much for
brilliant.
watching. We love you, fans. You're the best. To
Yeah,
my two mates, always. Nice to have you and see you again. We will see everybody next Saturday
pleasure.
morning live. We're just going to start getting naked, so we're
Oh.
going to end the show because we've seen it. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all.